What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and I cleaned off my two 3950Xs, and I haven't played with these things for quite some time, so let's check some hash rates and see what we can get out with this thing. So right now I do have 2 sticks of G.Skill Flare X RAM CL14. That is the best RAM I've had for these series of CPUs. We're currently at about 127, 134, 137 watts. I'm going with 137. It seems to be where it's mostly stable at. So 137 watts and about 13.8 kilohash. So I have no idea what the settings are. Let's jump into the BIOS and see what this thing's even set at right now. Okay, so it looks like I am set at 3.6 gigahertz. I am at 2400 megahertz on the RAM, so we're not overclocked here. And my voltage is at 1 volt. So I'm going to overclock the RAM here, and then we're going to see if we gained any type of boost. I'm then going to put in some old DRAM calculator settings that I did find from way back when, and I'm going to see if that makes a nice improvement as well. But first, let's just go up to 3200 here. Scrolling up, where's 3200? There we go. Default preset overclock RAM settings set. Hit F10. Save it, go to the moon. All right, so I'm just gonna let this thing boot right quick, shut it off, pull out the GPU so I can see how much power and everything it is drawing, and then we'll look at some hash rates. So we are about 14.5 kilohash, as we can see here. So we gained like what, 700 hashes or so? And about 149, 140, I don't know why it's bouncing around so much here, but we got about 149, 150 watts happening there. So we gained a decent amount of power there. Okay, so I got a bunch of different RAM settings, as you can see all through here, from DRAM calculator, from an old screenshot I found for this RAM. So we'll see just how well this plays out. So I'm gonna hit the F10 here, save it, reboot, make sure it boots, and then I'll pull out the GPU and everything and see what kind of power and hash rates we get. Okay, so it looks like that gave us a nice little boost as well. We're about 15.8 kilohash. It is saying our high is 16 kilohash, but you know, we're going with what's more common here, and that is 15.8 kilohash. And we did see another increase in power here, obviously upwards of bouncing all over the place to 156 watts. Focus for me, buddy. There we go. So 156 watts is what I'm going with here for 15.8 kilohash. So I only do have the stock cooler on this thing, but I'm going to bring this thing up to 3.8 now and run it at about 1.1 volts. So I'm just going to scroll down so you can see my voltage here. So we're overriding it 1.1 volts. So let's just see if this thing will be stable or not, and if we can get some hash rate here. So here we go. Hopefully I don't overheat this bad boy. All right, guys, so we are now around 193 watts here. Looks like we're hashing about 16.2 kilohash. It is saying 16.4 on the high. As for my temperatures in Hive, I'm just gonna do a refresh here. We're hanging about 67 degrees. So you know what? I'm gonna crank it up a little bit more. All right, guys, I'm gonna go 4.1 at about 1.2 volts. I'm not sure if this is gonna hold it. It might need more volts, but let's see what happens. All right, guys, so we hit about 16.8 kilohash. Our high is saying 17.1 kilohash, but we are starting to get a little bit on the warm side. I'm just gonna hit the refresh button here. Yeah, we're hitting 75 degrees. It's getting red. We could probably push it a little bit more to break 17 on the normal. But, you know, I don't think I'm going to do that. I need to get these things hashed again and get the other ones set up. But there we are. There are some 3950X hash rates depending on, you know, how you want to run it. As for power, we're upwards of 244 watts. That's pretty high. You know, I don't think that's very efficient right now. The fan is really starting to scream. You probably can't hear it because the mic is away, but I can definitely hear this thing spin. It's going full bore. So I dropped it down to about 3.5 gigahertz, dropped the voltage down to 0.985, and we're about 135 watts here on the peaks. And our hash rate is sitting around 13.6 with a high of about 13.8. All right, guys, so we're kicking it old school here. You can see the 3950X on RandomX algorithm, which is Zephyr. You can pause this video and kind of go through all the numbers. The light is kind of messing everything up, so some of the numbers, it's hard to see. And my writing sucks, but you can see our hash rate there, the power consumption it was using, our settings of the core voltage, whether I had XMP on, off, or was using the DRAM calculator setting, and then the volts I had it set at. So there's a lot of different things here. Obviously I can tweak for a lot better efficiency, especially at the higher clocks here. Tweak our voltages down. Then once we know our rig is stable, then we can set our RAM timings and drop voltages on the RAM. There's a lot of other things you can do to really tweak it, but I just wanted to see what kind of hash rates we can kind of get and what the rough power consumptions were. All right, guys, so there's our Ryzen 3950X, some quick hash rate testing there depending on the RAM. Remember, if you have different RAM, CL18 probably uses more power and it's going to be slower. CL16 will be a bit different here. This is CL14 G-Skill Flare RAM. It's one of my favorite RAMs for the Ryzen 3 and 5000 series here, but I went back to my original settings. I shut off XMP profile. I'm at 3.6, 1 volt on the 3950X, and I think I'm just going to let it ride at that instead of trying to push it too much, because we start losing or gaining and using way too much power. And technically right now I am a bit into the boost clock range. The base clock on these is a little bit slower at 3.5, but you know, it's not looking like we're losing too much here at 3.6. Regardless, guys, hope you like this video. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll see you on the next one. Rabid out.